Over the years, I've worked with clients who are frustrated because they haven't gotten promoted. I've also met with people who are prospective clients who wanted coaching specifically because they thought that it would help them accelerate their progress to getting promoted. I've come to some ideas that I think will be helpful as you consider how you can get promoted, and I'll share them in this video. So, you want to get promoted. You've tried a variety of different things and they just haven't worked. Perhaps this video will share a new idea that could work for you. Let's get right into it. I have 8 different ways that you can go about this, and hopefully one or a combination will work for you. And I really want you to think about that word combination. It may not be just one move that does it. Idea number 1, talk plainly to your manager and explain to them that you want to get promoted and you understand that there are things that you need to work on to make that happen. What are they? I remember working with a client several years ago who did exactly this. That was their strategy. They would tell their manager they wanted to get promoted, they would get clear feedback, and then they would work on those specific things, and by golly, they got promoted. During our work together in a coach-client relationship, they got promoted because they did the things that their manager told them they should do. Interesting, right? You may have not done this before, or you did it, but you didn't succeed to the degree that your manager was looking for. That's okay. Redouble your efforts, stay at it, because eventually it puts your manager in a position where they look bad if they don't promote you. 2, get feedback from others who are in positions of influence. Naturally, you're a skip level leader, right? Going to the manager of your manager for feedback. That's important. But what about other people at that level? If any of those people are against you getting promoted, it could derail your effort. And there are other people too who are peers alongside you who could also rally for you and put a vote in to get you promoted. You never know who has influence over these decisions and who will be talked to explore this idea of promoting you. So get feedback from a variety of people, and again, take it very seriously and work on the things that they tell you to work on. 3, take a hard look at your personal brand. Many people don't do this. They don't really think about their personal brand, and is it possibly getting in the way of promotion? What is it that you do when you work with others that creates an impression? And is that impression one of high potential, future leader, rising star? It could be that your personal brand is annoying others, leaving a bad taste in their mouths for one reason or another. There may be a certain behavior that you do that just rubs people the wrong way. I'm not here to tell you what those are. It's for you to decide based on taking a hard look at how you come across to others. And if you want to take it another step, talk to people specifically about your personal brand. Here's one question you can ask. When you think of me, what are 3 adjectives that come to mind? Or what are 3 descriptive phrases that you can think of when you think of me? Those will tell you a lot, and whether they line up with how you see leaders in the organization, you'll know if you need to change your personal brand. Number 4, increase your visibility in the organization by volunteering for a high-level project. I had a client years ago who had volunteered for a project that was coordinating an internal event where lots of key leaders in the organization would be participating. It took a lot of work. It ended up being even more work than they thought when they volunteered for it. But they did so deliberately because they knew it would increase their visibility in the organization and get them into relationship with leaders whom they might not meet any other way. So that could work for you also. And that alone probably won't get you promoted, but the results that you get on that project could certainly be in your favor in combination with some of the other things that you're working on. All right, idea number 5, play the long game and take a lateral move into another part of the organization that's on a growth path. When you look at the organization as a whole, you can tell that certain sectors are growing fast, some have high potential, and some are kind of yesterday's news. If you're working in yesterday's news section, it may be stable and maybe will last for years into the future before changes are made, but it probably doesn't really represent a growth opportunity. So that's where you have to think about, strategically, could I get promoted in another area that is growing faster and therefore opening up opportunities? So I say it's the long game because you may not get promoted right away, but you may end up getting promoted more often to higher levels by making that lateral move. All right, number 6, help your manager get promoted. This is kind of a long game too, right? Because I don't know how quickly your manager can get promoted. But if you get in alignment with your manager and get really clear about what their priorities are, and you help them to achieve those priorities in an outstanding way, that may make them look good enough to get promoted. And they may see you as the heir apparent because you've been so aligned with them and you've had this strategic focus on higher level priorities. And so naturally, you're an ideal candidate to succeed them. You see how that might work? This is a good strategy anyway, to be in alignment with your manager and to help them look good and work on those higher level priorities that they are often focused on. These may be voluntary on your part on top of everything else that you're doing. And by the way, you should always be managing everything that's within your responsibility really, really well. I remember one client who was interested in moving up in the organization, and so they were looking for these other opportunities to contribute to the organization, and yet their manager felt that they weren't working enough on their existing set of responsibilities. That's going to hold them back. So keep that in mind. Number 7, this is a high-risk idea. So this is not advice. Remember, I'm a coach. I don't give advice. I don't tell you what to do. I may make suggestions, but I'm detached from those suggestions. It's up to you to decide what you think about it, whether you want to act on it or not. It becomes your idea. Threaten to leave the company. When you threaten to leave, it generally puts wheels in motion and it may accelerate your move to the next level. Now, this is high risk because the answer may be no. And this certainly happens sometimes, right? And then, well, you put your cards on the table. They said no. Are you going to leave? You might have to because you've threatened senior leadership that you're going to leave if you don't get promoted. So you would only take this high-risk gamble if you were pretty sure that you've got everything under control, you're a top performer, you have given extra effort in volunteering for additional high visibility projects, etc. You've combined some of these ideas together. You have a great personal brand. You're a keeper. You know that the company would be in a bad spot without you. But for one reason or another, they've dawdled on getting you promoted, right? They've just taken their time. Well, it's time to put the pedal to the metal and maybe threaten to leave. That can work. That can work, but generally you would only do this as a last resort and you would only play this card once because you can't do it more than once naturally. Okay, final idea, and this one is probably obvious, right? Idea number 8 is leave the organization. This could be combined with number 7 in the sense that you start checking to see what opportunities are out there for you to get promoted. in another organization, and an offer you receive may be presented to your existing employer with the reality that I've gone to the marketplace, I've explored, which I think is always a wise thing to do, to see what opportunities are out there, and I have received an offer for a higher level position. I'm willing to stay if you'd make it worth my while. I'm going to accept the offer unless you have a competing offer, which obviously moves me up to the next level. So this is threatening to leave, but threatening to leave with a real opportunity in hand. So if they say no, well then you'll go ahead and take that job, right? So this may be a smarter move than just number 7 on its own. So these are 8 different ideas that you can use in combination or just by itself to get promoted. I've seen some of them work with clients in the past, and other ones I believe could work for you just based on my knowledge and experience. If you have your own ideas for how to get promoted, please place them in the comments below to help other leaders who are observing videos on this channel and would like to hear ideas from viewers as well. Now, what about idea number 9, a bonus idea, which, hey, I didn't put it in the top 8, right? But it's got to be something to think about, which is working with an executive coach. As I mentioned to you, I worked with a client who got promoted. That's not the only one. I've worked with other clients who have gotten promoted as well. Now, keep in mind that I never guarantee that a client will get promoted. I can't. It's not realistic for me as an executive coach to guarantee that by working with me, you will get promoted. I'm just telling you that it has happened in the past, and I do believe that working with a coach will accelerate your progress towards getting promoted because it will help you focus in like a laser on the right things that you need to work on to look like someone who is highly eligible to advance to the next level. If you'd like to talk with me about it, email me at michael@barryexecutivecoach.com and we can explore working together. Now, just keep in mind that I'm not a career coach and will not help you leave the organization and get a job somewhere else. I can refer you to a career coach who can do that. I help people get promoted or at least prepare themselves for promotion inside an existing organization. Also visit my website, barryexecutivecoach.com, to learn more. And you can schedule time with me there. Thank you very much.